Hello and welcome. It is currently 11:04 a.m. Eastern Time, and the date is April the 13th. My name is Derek. This is the Money Charts channel. All bets trades amongst the your own risk, your own rewards. So, what has been going on lately? The risk or the rewards section, or the gains or the losses? Bitcoin price is pretty much at all-time highs. For myself, my portfolio is I'm at all-time highs myself too. I think a lot of other people in the crypto games is as well. 63,000 hanging in there very, very well. So let's just do multiple time frames and this a quick story for each time frame. Oh, and just whatever else if there's anything else to add to it. And there is one thing I want to add to this. So story. I mean, for before the fact, I mean, what a beautiful gain this was from like 3 o'clock in the morning, going from like 60k and change to like 63 and change, or basically 63. But good move. Yeah, I really have to look at how it's went from here, like the story, this, then that. Because the correctionary move of two red downs has a few periods supporting the 18 lows, and we've now are in period number 3. And really, this is of really the previous two of resisting the highs. It looks like it's attempting to break it on this current one, almost halfway through, 15-minute time frame. This is just a bullish setup. So the thing I wanted to add upon this is there was the day back when I would go to sports books where you could bet on sports and other miscellaneous things. One of them is markets, and in whatever time from now, hour from now, whatever, say 12 o'clock p.m. Bitcoin price is over under 63,060. I'm going over because do I think that this is gonna do well in the next 4 periods or so? Yeah, I do. So that's one way of looking at markets. Of course, when you see something go way up or way down in 4 periods, well, there's your bet. If things can go up, you go long. If things go down, you sell or you short. If you want, of course, bet it. Single hour time frame. There's that beautiful 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock gain. Before then, we were seeing strength with the 18 highs. So like 5, 6 periods going sideways, congesting, and we're just waiting. Major time correction. Still hasn't caught up to the 18, albeit closer. Doesn't need to. And you start to see some upward momentum going up trends, breaking previous highs. I mean, this thing go off pretty good. Let's go right to the daily. You have these lines. As I was saying, holding and staying above it would be key. Well, I'm going to get rid of the lines as they are passe, as it's broken this level of March 13th resistance before today. These 2 periods at the 18 highs, what it was doing. After, of course, for like 2 weeks of holding and staying above those lines I used to have. The 2 periods before then, getting up to the 18 average of highs and extending it and staying holding above it. So the rest of this period, these two, just doing that, just a magnificent couple of days. Then and I mean, this is I mean when I this is almost like the monster. This is like the time to buy when you look. And I'm saying this, and then you're looking for the strategy. Okay, well we're looking for a market to have a gain of whatever. We want an uptrend basically. And then we want to have its move successfully correct. So from this move here, from the March 12th top, March 12th, 13th, you can see, well, it's been doing nice above here. So we've been in this long range bound market. And really this range started, considering the lower end of the range is 43. You can say February 8th is the day it built the range. And if you'd go in the range here at this point, well, then I guess you could, no, I guess you have to do this low. But either way, it's been in this tight little range, and you also seen it was in an uptrend. This low, even with this low, higher lows. So buyers, of course, totally in control of this market. So you're looking forward to show excitation signs and barely get above, but noticeably get above, and that's almost where it is. Is it barely above? Sort of, yeah. Is it? But it's not a joke amount. This high was 61 high change, and we've gotten up to over 63 and over a quarter. That so that's an interesting situation. We'll just see what happens. Of course, for yourself, do what you gotta do. Amongst the weekly, and there's been just continuous nothing going down, and amazing up action from the March lows of the previous year. Excitation, and we need our pullback at some point, but it doesn't look like it's now. October of last year, getting above, well above 11, 12,000. It hasn't even touched the 18 average on the weekly term, albeit a couple of times close since then. The couple of times close, January 18 and 25, and March 22, well, the previous 3 periods. And it looks like it's going to be a little more difficult again if it has the type of extension in which it looks like it's having. Because in this setup as it is, this looks pretty crazy. I mean, it's resistance is clearly breaking, and you got this ascending triangle kind of deal, however you want to look at it. I mean, just a monster uptrend. Yeah, it's going to have a big correction some point, but I almost have to think we're doing 6 figures before that correction happens now. I mean, the market will do what it does, but we'll see. And then we'll finish it off within the monthly. I mean, for a while before I was saying, oh, we're just barely above this line. No, we're not barely above it. Because the whole theory on playing that strategy of breaking previous highs is it's pretty obvious that if it has a decent gain from here to here, that you were good winning here, of course. And not, markets just do that a lot. So you want to get in after it breaks. This is again one strategy. If whatever you do, you want to do. You want to get in after it breaks a key resistance noticeably, and what you're looking for is a good gain. Well, this was a good gain, and it's going to happen usually fast. And this is one of those usuallys because it only took about like 5-6 periods. In this case here, I mean, when was this point? Whatever. So we're a few periods in, like 3 or whatever, from the consensus break of like 25, 26,000. And then looking just again comparing this to the multiple time frame scenario, I mean, figure getting above this, decent sized gain. Well, daily time frame we could be looking at 70, 80,000. And weekly chart, let's just see. Is there any way I can calculate fib up? So difficult here with my calculator. I got just a basic high divided by a 61.8% correction and then a 1.618. I guess for short term I can. So where do we go? I think we've already had the move from his high to this low, so I can go this low to this high even. But I'd rather, for this time frame, I'm going to go the 161.8 for, this is just a small number when it's going to come down to it, although decent volatility. 43,000 low change. So general area numbers will work. And the high in here was 61.71. So high divided by low. So an upside target here of 77,000. And you know what? That could probably make a bit of sense for this time frame. Oh wow, this is just a month. This is an interesting one to try to calculate the target. I'm thinking just go with that 100 number that I did before, the 111. That's pretty much where I'm going to go for that. Anyway, let's go on to the next coin. It's going to be Litecoin, but I mean, interesting volatility. Bitcoin up 5% against the dollar. Bitcoin Cash up 3% against the dollar, which means it's up more against Bitcoin. Cardano hanging in there. DGB down 7.8 against the Bitcoin, and that means it's barely down against the dollar. Doji doing very well, 6% against the Bitcoin, so it's better against the dollar. Dot down 3 against Bitcoin, so barely up against the dollar. H bar barely down. Litecoin up 3%. It was up a bit more, like 5. T-Fuel was down a bit more, and I kind of, well, I've been buying T-Fuel and Theta this morning. That's pretty much all I bought. Actually, I bought DGB as well because it went down. Tezos, and then this is just oh man, down. It sucks. Mona, whatever. Silver's actually, I can't say it, but silver's up 2% today. Let me just quickly look at silver, and then we'll get back to Litecoin. Let's go. What's the story here? Well, I just noticing this for the first time today. It's 11:15. Just anyway, back to Litecoin. Well, cryptos, I look at them right off the bat, I'm like, oh my goodness, Bitcoin's doing its thing. That was my first thought. This is cool. This is amazing. So therefore, I would have been up around this time here. So anyway, Bitcoin, Litecoin, hanging in there, doing very well in the short run. 0.00422. And if you've been in this for a while, you're studying this number, it's not doing well long term against the Bitcoin. I remember it was down to 0.01, which you would need a 250% move to get back now, or 150% move, or 2.5x. That's down. I mean, wow, it's down a lot. After all, it's been in. This is daily chart. We'll get to the weekly. You can a lot of volatility. And I mentioned even before, but like this is just, it's just this was these up and down moves, unlike before, and it's still showing a lot of the choppy action, which means day trading this for that. It's there if you want it. But yeah, this is like the point 20 now, 0.02. This thing has been going down against Bitcoin. When you look at this against the weekly, it's like, oh my goodness, just a horrendous downturn. How do you trust these rallies, all that kind of stuff? And for what it's worth, it kind of is hard to trust them. But is this a rally? Usually these things can just pop way above the ET highs and fall back. That's what they seem to do. Bitcoin against the dollar. It's got an amazing setup. Up 8%, so up a bit more than Bitcoin. Fibonacci is from the $420 highs and the lows near 22. 23.6, 38.2, 61.8, and this is 76.4. I use the exponential case. When there's big numbers on high divided by low, and there is when you're doing 420 divided by that of 22, we're getting a number that's going to get you near 20. It's better to do it this way. Rather than high subtract low, multiply your Fibonacci percentage and then add that to the low. That's the way mostly everyone else does it. It's interesting if you have like a situation where high divided by low is like 1.2, 1.3, they're pretty much the exact same numbers. But nowhere near with this. But anyway, for a move to be a real move, it really has to hold the 61.8 mark. So it has to stay and hold below the 210-ish area for the selling to be a real one. Now the buying on this, when you look at the like a fib of going from like what was this like $3 or something, 3 and change. Let me just quickly. We'll do 3.33 and the 38.2 is 21. Oh, you don't say. Yeah, 21, which is where it went down to. Okay, anyway, close to. So the fact that it held and stayed above 61.8 tells me that this rally was a real move, especially with the momentum coming right now. So now we got moved from, so this is point A to point B. Now let's do point B to point C, which is what this Fibonacci is representing. Holding and staying below 209.85 is what it needs for the selling to be a real move. And it's been doing so up until, really, February? I mean, especially with those correctionary move in here, a couple times hitting support, and now we're seeing excitation above previously established high, the resistance high. And you know what do we do now? Well, my work, 23.6, 38.2, 61.8, 76.4 prev high, which is PR. When I write it down, I just write PREV high, or previous high. That's $420. It is what it is. Now let's go to the comments in the last video, which is 3 days ago. It was just this is the way it's been really busy with hockey. So April 1st, April 3rd, April 6th, 10. I kind of like it better this way. So don't expect a video for a while. Keanu leaves. You really believe Litecoin hits $2,500? Why wouldn't I? Literally. I've explained to you before. I've shown so many examples on how these things work so well. It's almost like, for example, you could be betting, like just looking at whatever. You're doing all your research and you've worked really hard on it for so long. And you've seen so many examples where they have verified itself quite well. Why would I not believe in it? Do you think you got Tom Brady? Do you think he believes he can win a Super Bowl? I mean, really? I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm the GOAT or anything, because I'm not, but I'm pretty damn good. So do I believe it's going to hit $2,500? Anyway, next coin. And that will be Cardano. And it's just for like a flash, whatever, like a flash contest, if you will. Flash giveaway. How many do I want to give away? I'll decide later. Something decent. I'll give away a few Cardano if anyone can tell me what my up target is for this based on this time frame. I'm going to be just a little nice just to put the mouse here to make it a little easier for you. And I want 3 decimals. If anyone is right, I'll give you a nice, decent reward. So as it goes, we have this high, we have this low, Fibonacci, 38.2, 61.8, yada yada. I put that in a long time ago. Well, as it goes. For the first one, we resisted, nice little hold within the 18, and then we support very, very spectacularly within this move at the end of the year last year. Nice little move right to fib, and did it resist it? Not really, it supported it though. Congested within it for a span of 4 periods until excitation on the 5th. And then what happened after excitation? 3 more follow-throughs, and what a beautiful sideways consolidation since then, as it holds barely above, nicely above, the rising 18 moving average amongst the daily. Nice little run it was having in here, making this high, correcting this high, correcting, and then an attempt. This one didn't work. March the 17th, 18th kind of deal. Beautiful correction within the 18, resist the highs, and how staying in there. A little bit of an attempt here, and not really in. What a session yesterday, how it closes above the highs, and within today's session, you can see price action has been down, $1.24 to these lows, and I know this is calculated by, so let me just put in an actual real market just to see if those lines are valid. No, it's different, yeah. But you can see how in here you have the nice view the day before, how it gets above, and how it's just nicely breaking it like this. I think this has got a good potential to run. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.